You're watching SportsBeat.
Handoff to Zack Moss, second level, 20, 25, 30. Touchdown! Touchdown, Utah!
The countdown continues. 31 days. Thanks for watching SportsBeat tonight. Jeremiah Jensen, Sam Farnsworth, Ice Cube. Yes, that Ice Cube will join us in studio coming up. And we finally get to meet 3 new Jazz players, but we begin with college football.
Where else? You know, seems like every weekend we're updating that countdown to kickoff. Yeah, still counting those days. Like you said, 31 days until Utah and BYU in Provo. The Utes enter this season with a lot of hype, not just here on the Wasatch Front, but across the country.
You know, the Pac-12 preseason polls won't do anything to change that. They came out on Wednesday during Media Day.
Yeah, the Utes are not only picked to win the Pac-12 South, but they were chosen by the media to represent the Pac-12 in the Rose Bowl.
Those are some big expectations for the first time since joining the Pac-12. The Utes are picked to win the conference championship game. They were picked to win the South by a wide margin, too. 206 points over USC's 167. Arizona State, UCLA, Arizona, and Colorado round out the South. Oregon given a very slight edge over Washington to win the North, followed by Stanford, Washington State, Cal, and Oregon State.
The Utes were also well represented on the Pac-12 preseason all-conference team. 5 players named first team, more than any other team in the conference. Zack Moss, Lakey Fotu, Bradley Anai, Julian Blackman, and Jalen Johnson all named first team. Darian Paulo, John Pensini, and Britton Covey named second team. Cole Fotheringham and Javelin Guidry, the new punter, Ben Lennon, also honorable mentions.
So with all that said, it's easy to see why expectations are so high for this team. But this is unfamiliar territory for a program that is used to being an underdog. So how will they handle all this hype?
Utah reps the South for the first time.
All the expectations, you're picked to win the Pac-12 championship. How are you guys dealing with those expectations? Do you embrace it?
Well, I think to some degree we embrace it. I think it's still at the back of our minds. We don't really sit there and be like, wow, we're #1.
Let it give you confidence. Let it solidify what you already know, because you're hyping yourself up in your mind, so who cares if someone else is doing it? Just maintain that humility, that quiet confidence that you've always had.
I can definitely tell that guys use that to motivate us. We don't really use that to get a pass in a sense. We just use it to keep us going and to have something to work for.
Intercepted, Jalen Johnson.
It's not the end goal that we're focused on, it's how we're going to get there.
We try to take things in increments, take one game at a time.
We still take the underdog approach to everything, still grinding it out, same mentality that we had to build up since joining the Pac-12.
All of our mentalities and our expectations for ourselves pretty much exceeds any other expectations that come our way.
Regardless of where we're picked or what the situation is, we've got an end goal to win the Pac-12, as I'm sure every other team in the Pac-12 has. But the day-to-day application of that is, what do we got to do today to take a step in that direction?
He put us on a high pedestal. We don't even want to knock us down off of it. So we know that we have a target on our back. So we're just working and trying to tone in to really stay up there.
Falling short of our expectations, our own, it's kind of, it won't affect us in the way that, we're trying to live up to other people's expectations and whatnot, because us ourselves hold ourselves to a higher standard.
You could not get overconfident or cocky in this program without being shot down by coaches or leaders on the team. It's just the culture thing.
Negative to it is if you let it get to your head and sidetrack you a little bit and make you think you got all the answers. So as long as our guys keep it in perspective and understand that, first of all, it's not going to help us win any games for certain, and it is nothing more than really just a fun way to start the season, then I think we'll be all right. But if we let it, start making us think that we've arrived, then you got problems.
Now switching gears to the Utah State Aggies. Mountain West Media Day also was on Wednesday, and the hype for the Utah State Aggies isn't on the same level of the Utes, but the bar is certainly higher now after an 11-win season last year. A star quarterback under center, and of course the return of Gary Anderson.
Yeah, with that return of Anderson as the head coach, the expectations throughout the Mountain West are that the Aggies should pick up right where they left off this last season. And according to the Mountain West media, They predict the Aggies to finish second in the Mountain Division behind Boise State. Utah State did receive 6 first-place votes behind Boise State's 15. Air Force, Wyoming, CSU, and New Mexico round out the standings. In the West Division, Fresno State was picked first ahead of San Diego State, Nevada, Hawaii, UNLV, and San Jose State.
You know, Utah State's going to pack some firepower on the football field. 9 starters returning from last season. 5 players enter the 2019 recognized as preseason all-conference All-American return man Savon Scarver received the honor, as well as all Mountain West return specialists. And then on defense, David Woodward, Tipa Naliai, and DJ Williams made the team. But of course, the spotlight may shine brightest at that all-conference quarterback.
Jordan Love, not only recognized as preseason all-conference, but he was named the Mountain West preseason offensive player of the year as well. A fitting honor for a guy who set 5 program records last season and accounted for 39 total touchdowns, 5th most in a single season in Mountain West history. With numbers like that, is it really any surprise that Jordan Love is garnering preseason attention for the Heisman Trophy? And Utah State, they want to help Love get the eyes of a football nation watching the junior quarterback on a team in Logan, Utah. The Heisman campaign has officially begun. For Jordan Love, what's the goal this season?
Our goal is just be the best quarterback in the conference, be the best quarterback in the nation, really. As I said, I don't really have too many personal goals because, I mean, if you're doing good as a team, the personal goals will kind of just fall into place, and the success will just fall into place. So, but yeah, just be the best QB in the nation.
Look into the end zone. It's caught!
Yeah, I know you've seen these, but when you see that, I mean, how cool is that? What do you think when you saw something like that?
It's awesome. I mean, seeing your own candy. I mean, like I said, you don't see that every day, so it's just cool. I mean, I can't thank Utah State enough for doing this campaign and stuff like that. It's just awesome.
I was like, man, that must be nice, man. You got the little Heisman in the back, you know, vote Love. And it's cool to be his teammate.
I love this candy. How about that? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's cool. It's, you know, and again, well-deserved for this kid.
Do they taste good?
They taste amazing. Have you tried them? Amazing. So soft. Here, we can all try them. Everybody has to try one. Because it's so good. 10-second rule, yeah. I thought it was 5, but it's all good. We can boost it up to 10.
You got to do it when you're where we are, and you know they got to get some stuff. People got to see him on the East Coast. They got to see who he is and see what he's about, and the Midwest and so on and so forth. And hopefully they'll stay up a couple late nights and see him play a game.
How awesome is it knowing that on the other side of the ball, you've got a guy that has a Heisman campaign?
It's a good thing for us. Not every school has a Heisman candidate quarterback to practice with, you know, and to grow with. He's definitely going to help us, you know, the defense with growing the young guys in fall camp. Also with the offense, you know, I feel like he's taking on the leadership role really well. And I feel like he'll lead this offense, you know, the way we'll try to lead our defense.
This guy can do it all. He's got NFL potential if he can live up to it.
Does something like this, though, add any incentive to your season, pressure? What do you take from something like that?
It doesn't add any pressure. I mean, the way I look at it is this is all stuff on the side. It's all fun stuff that's just on the side.
The Utah State offense behind Jordan Love has found its stride.
The main goal for our team is Mountain West Championship. So, I mean, when you have that main goal, like, nothing can really derail you of what you're thinking. So.
This was a big weekend for Utah Youth Soccer. Utah Celtic FC traveled to Overland Park, Kansas, and won the U.S. Youth Soccer 19U Women's National Championship. They defeated a club out of Missouri 9-1. That's right, 9-1 to bring home Utah's first national championship from this event. Kate Shermer of Lone Peak High School had a hat trick. Also, congrats to the Sparta boys team for reaching the semifinals at Nationals. All right, we've known for 3 weeks that Jeff Green and Ed Davis were going to sign free agent contracts with the Utah Jazz. We finally had a chance to meet them on Friday. Both players were introduced at a press conference. Both players add a veteran presence to a team that plans to compete for an NBA title. That is why Davis and Green decided to move to Salt Lake City, their quest for a ring.
I mean, at this stage in my career, you know, I wanted to play, you know, on a veteran team, you know, a team that had a chance to, you know, contend, you know, for a title at the end of the year. So that was the main thing for me.
With the personnel that they were building on this team, the opportunity to win, which is most important, it was a no-brainer.
Both players are taking less money for the chance to play for a contender. This is the third straight year Jeff Green has signed a one-year minimum deal. He does feel slighted by that, but it provides him plenty of motivation, which should benefit the Jazz.
I do look at it as motivation to continue to work, continue to, prove a lot of people wrong. And, I think it's fun. At the end of the day, God has a plan, and, I have to just do my job of going out there and playing basketball. And it'll all work out, so I'm not too concerned about it.
Well, we just celebrated Pioneer Day, or as Jazz fans like to call it, Karl Malone Day.
Yeah, it's fitting. Karl Malone was born on the same day that the Mormon pioneers arrived in the Salt Lake Valley, and Brigham Young proclaimed, "This is the right place." Turned out to be the right place for the mailman, who had a Hall of Fame career with the Jazz when Karl first arrived in Utah after being picked by the Jazz in the 1985 NBA draft. He rode on a float in the Days of 47 parade. Frank Layden had actually told him the parade was to celebrate his 22nd birthday. It wasn't until it ended that Frank said, quote, "I can't believe you fell for that one."
You mean Frank Layden pulled a prank on
no
Karl
kidding.
Malone. That is shocking. All right, when we come back, we'll meet another new Jazz player, Emmanuel Mudiay.
Yeah, we'll also welcome a special guest to the KSL studio.
Conley is big. He can go, him and Spider-Man is going to be a crazy tandem.
Ice Cube joins us to discuss the Big Three basketball league, his Lakers, his Raiders, the Jazz, and his impact on pop culture.
I didn't really want to pass up on the opportunity to play with these guys again.
And more from the Pac-12 Media Day with the Utes. Zack Moss tells us why he decided to stick around for his senior year. And a hype video that'll get you all fired up. That's next.
You're watching SportsBeat.
He's a hip-hop legend. He's a pop culture icon. He's an acclaimed actor. You've done it all. And now he's a sports owner. Ice Cube, we are honored to have you in the SportsBeat studio. Thanks so much. Welcome to Salt Lake City.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Salt Lake has always supported me throughout my whole career, so it's cool to be back here with this kind of event.
So tell us about the Big Three. For those that aren't familiar, what is the Big Three and how did it come about?
It's professional 3-on-3 basketball. Played on a half court with former NBA and players, international stars from around the world. So it's something that we grew up all playing. I know me in my life, I played more 3-on-3 than 5-on-5, and it's just never been elevated to the professional level. So me and my partner, Jeff Quantnitz, in 2016, we started to brainstorm, through arguments and fights over rules and structure. We've come up with the Big Three. This is our third year, and we're happy to be Salt Lake City.
To get this league to have some credibility, you had to land some big names, right? How are you able to do that?
Guys want to hoop. It's simple. Guys, they play everywhere. We just don't get a chance to see them. They're in these, rec centers. They're doing pickup games with each other, but not a league where we can see former players go at it and still have the passion that they had when they played in the NBA.
How difficult is it to launch something like this, and what are some of the obstacles you had to face?
It's pretty hard, just getting people to buy in, landing the major contracts that we needed for our sponsors, broadcasting partner. These things were tough. But we're excited that we're here. We were able to meet all the challenges that has come up against the league, and I think we're passing them with flying colors. And so the fun outweighs the hardness, for sure.
Absolutely. Big names, you're on TV, that'll get it launched. So you're a basketball fan, I know you're a Lakers fan, so I've got to ask you about your Lakers this offseason. Are you happy with what they did?
I'm happy. The big grab was getting Anthony Davis. Kawhi would have been, some sugar on top. But it didn't happen, so we're fine. I'm fine with the team that we have. I think we're going to be able to compete. We're not really worried about the Clippers because the Jazz look like they added some pieces too. So Western Conference is going to be tough.
LA is not becoming a Clipper town. You have to worry about that.
Never. We're trying to get rid of the Clippers, trying to sell them back to Seattle or something. Somebody need a team. Go and take the Clippers.
You have to go tell Steve Ballmer that. The Jazz. Did you like their offseason too? You mentioned that.
Yeah. Getting Conley is big. He can go, him and Spider-Man is going to be a crazy tandem. Go Bears, you know, the man, and you guys have added some pieces to that. So I expect you guys to go deep. You know, maybe Western Conference Finals, you never know.
Yeah, and when you followed the Jazz for a while because of the Laker rivalry over the years and just Stockton and Malone. What are some of your memories of the Jazz? There were obviously some times where they broke your heart, but there was times where you got the best of them.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just seeing them play, knowing that it was always going to be a tough match. You know, hating to play in Salt Lake because we knew the fans was going to bring it. You know, being swept out of the playoffs. You know, that was, you know, our biggest memory of the Jazz when Kobe shot the air balls. But it's been just a great franchise to watch. It's always solid. And now, you know, it seems like you guys are going to, you know, make a run.
People here hope so, and Kobe made up for that later on.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, people here are also excited about the Raiders. I know you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah, big time.
Now that it's in Vegas, close to here, there's a lot of Raiders fans here in Utah.
Yeah.
What do you think about the move?
You know, I think it's unfortunate for Oakland, but it had to happen. You know, the Raiders have been trying to get Oakland to build them a stadium as long as I've been watching football. So, you know, the time is now for them to make a move. And happy for Vegas, sad for Oakland, but I'm still, you know, when you're the president of the Raider Nation, you got to go wherever they go.
Do you believe in John Gruden?
We'll see. You know, he still has to prove himself. You know, he left the league for a long time as a coach, and he's coming back, and he hasn't really had a chance to put his own team together. This year, he's actually doing that. So we'll see what he got. You know, I'm just observing.
Wait and see.
Wait and see.
Well, you've had an unbelievable career. I grew up in western Wyoming, and I listened to NWA.
Yeah.
It's a Good Day. I watched the movie Boys in the Hood's a classic. Friday's a classic. It goes on and on. Did you have any idea when you got all this started, when you were young, that you could have this kind of an impact on the world?
Not at all. You know, we were just trying to be creative, just trying to do things that would get us respect in the industry. And you know, it just goes to show when you're really genuine with what you're doing and you really have a passion for it, you know, it could lead you to some great places. So that's really what I equated to, is just passion for being creative and doing something cool that people can get into.
It's so much fun.
Oh, man,
Thanks so much. It's been an honor. Appreciate it.
Cool.
Enjoy your time in Salt Lake City.
I will do.
Great interview. Ice Cube's Traveling League was a success in Salt Lake City last night. Vivint Smart Home Arena had a good crowd in attendance, and they were quick to share some love with some former Jazzmen as well. Joe Johnson and Al Jefferson were on one of the winning teams, the triplets. When Johnson was announced, he received a big ovation from the crowd. He did play just 1.5 seasons of his 17-year career in Utah, but he's still keeping tabs on the team and is excited for the upcoming season.
I look forward to watching the Jazz play this year. They add a lot of great additions, which should put them, you know, right at one of the top spots in the West. So I know Quinn is up for the challenge. I know them guys are too. He's a great guy, man. Obviously an awesome player. He's going to give them much needed scoring, you know, other than, you know, Donovan. That's a great addition. So, you know, those guys got a nice team over there.
Big Al Jefferson was a fan favorite when he was in Utah. His first season here happened to be Jerry Sloan's final season as Jazz head coach. Yet the impression left by Sloan on Big Al was one that Jefferson will never forget.
This was awesome. I mean, Coach Sloan was one of them type of coaches, you know, he'll motivate you in ways. He made you play hard every night, night in, night out for your teammates. You know, when you were around him, you know it's about business. And, you know, when we on that court, it's about, you know, playing hard for your teammates. And I wish I'd have had more time with him, but, you know, I feel like everything happened for a reason. It was time for him to retire and move on to something else.
It's good to see Joe and Al back in town. All right, Emmanuel Mudiay entered the NBA with high expectations. He was the 7th overall pick of the Denver Nuggets back in 2015.
Yeah, things didn't work out so well for him in Denver or New York after a year with the Knicks.
So Mudiay's hoping coming to Utah can jumpstart his career. He's still young. He's just 23 years old. He'll provide depth at the point guard position while the Jazz try to develop his game and help him reach his potential. Things that now make the Jazz attractive as a free agent destination.
If it's about basketball, I think that it's a great place to be. If you look at the team, it's definitely a great place to to come to if you're trying to win. It's trending this team and the way it's going. It's definitely becoming a winning program and getting back to the days Stockton and Malone was here when they was winning a lot of games. So I think it's going into the right direction for sure.
Handoff to Zack Moss, second level, 20, 25, 30. Touchdown! Touchdown, Utah!
All right, back to college football. If you missed our 2019 Utah Utes season preview on Saturday, you can watch it on KSLSports.com and on our YouTube channel. Here's a sample of the show and a reason the expectations are so high for the Utes this season.
Yeah, in January, Lakey Fotu, Bradley Anai, Julian Blackman, Zack Moss, they all put off the NFL to come back and make a run together at a Pac-12 championship. The experience and talent on the roster gives the Utes a chance to make history.
When Lakey Fotu and Bradley Anai and Julian Blackman and Zack Moss say they're coming back, what was your reaction?
Pac-12 championship. I mean, those guys are important to our team and can really help us and have helped us up until this point. So, I mean, it was just kind of a reload in a sense, just let's put our bullets back in and go at it.
It kind of solidified the real feeling that we all had that we could be really good this year.
Each and every individual that you mentioned, all of our mentalities and our expectations for ourselves pretty much exceeds any other expectations that come our way.
I think every one of them made the decision on their own. There was no collaborative effort, you know, we're all going to come back or we're all going to leave, and I think all of them made the right decision.
Definitely have no regrets of what has transpired in those past few years, and it's been a very, very enjoyable ride.
Just a feeling in the atmosphere that people know we have potential, and more potential than we've probably ever had. So when something like that happens, it's just kind of like, okay, they know, we know, now we gotta just go.
There's risk coming back, there's no doubt about that, but I think the percentages are definitely in their favor, that more good can come out of it that outweighs the risk.
Gives it to Zack Moss, runs to daylight, and runs to the end zone. Touchdown!
Why did you decide to come back to the University of Utah?
I decided to come back. I wanted to get my degree, for one, make sure I get that for me and myself and my family, and set a role, be an example to the kids back home in my community and stuff like that. And also, I didn't really want to pass up on the opportunity to play with these guys again.
Toss sweep right side, Zack. He puts his foot on the ground. He's at the 10. He trumps man, stays on his feet. 10, 5, touchdown! Touchdown!
You have a chance to become the all-time leading rusher in Utah history. Does that mean something to you?
It definitely means something to me. When I came into Utah, I wanted to walk out of here as being one of the best to ever play football at the school, and definitely be the best running back to play here. And I think accomplish some of those goals is very special, because a lot of guys that play college football can't say they have done something like that.
We've had some really good backs come through the program, and for him to be able to leave, if he has the type of year that we hope he has, as the all-time most productive back in the history of Utah football, that's a great accomplishment.
So you have unfinished business?
Nobody there.
Pretty much, yeah.
What is that business?
To win the Pac-12 championship, be the first team in school history to get that done, and then hopefully get a berth in the college football playoffs.
So the Utes are loaded with talent on both sides of the ball, proven players that have been making plays for multiple seasons now.
Yeah, and if it all comes together, imagine how much fun this team will be. Here's just a glimpse of how special this team could be in 2019.
Handoff to Zack Moss, second level, 20, 25, 30. Touchdown! Touchdown, Utah! He gets drilled by Bradley Anai under pressure and walks right in. And this had to hurt. Oh my goodness. It's complete. Covey breaking tackles. Breaking Covey, touchdown, Utah. Covey, he's going to throw it to Huffman. Touchdown. But intercepted. Blackman has it. Jelly's going to keep it himself out on the edge. Hurdles a man 50, 45. And down to the BYU 44-yard line goes Jason Shelley. Nakua gets out to the 45. Slowed him up, and then the finish by Jalen Johnson.
Picked off to the outside, Julian Blackman. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown! Surveys the field, throws to the end zone, caught. Touchdown!
Big kid, 6'3", 254. He's from Hawaii.
And caught, touchdown!
Once again, soccer fan Tom Hackett looked to the Real Salt Lake roster to find a challenger on the golf course.
Yeah, this time around, Tate Schmidt pulls out the driver to take a few cuts with Tom on this edition of the Hallowed Grounds.
The Hallowed Grounds, brought to you by Siegfried and Jensen.
As always, arrived here in my Nate Wade Subaru. Big thanks to Willow Creek and the members in particular for allowing us to play at this beautiful country club. Tate Schmidt joins me, RSL forward/winger.
How we doing?
Wherever the gaffer needs him, he will play. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Here's how this game works. First hole, which is the par 4 fourth here at Willow Creek. We play for the $100 gift card to you into golf. And if Tate wins that, the par 3 fifth will be up for grabs if he hits it closest to the pin, and he'll win a $500 Bushnell rangefinder. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited.
Play some golf. It's a breakfast ball.
Yeah, that was the win.
Woo. Nice shot. Boy, I should not have let him go again. You're way up there. For people that don't know, talk to me about your story, your soccer story.
My high school soccer coach kind of was like, hey, you have a talent in soccer, you need to stop all the other, games you're playing and continue your soccer. And that's how I got to the Real Academy.
Your high school football coach?
High school soccer coach, yeah. And he was one of the assistant coaches to Greg Vanny at the RSL Academy, and then was there for 2 years. Had some two good years that helped me get looked at by the University of Louisville.
Go Cards.
Yeah, go Cards.
You like it out there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was different.
Was it?
Yeah, very different. Kentucky, very different.
No. No. I might be in trouble here. That is right on line. Nice shot, sir. It's not closest to the pin anymore. We gotta putt it all out, and then if you win that, then you take home the Bushnell. So one of the more famous athletes in the state, as I'm sure you know. Well, do you know Spider Mitchell?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I remember seeing something on social media when you came out here, whenever that was.
Yeah, so I knew him from college, and then when I signed, he was like texting me and was like, hey, congratulations.
Oh, man, that's
and then
cool.
he was nice enough to give me tickets, and I got to see him a bunch of times at the games.
Have you been able to get him out to Rio Tinto Stadium?
Not yet.
He's working on it?
Yeah, he'll come. He's gonna come to a bunch of them, but he's just been busy, with all the stuff he's got going on.
Yeah,
right
just Adidas. And
yeah, all
the Dons.
The new shoes coming out.
Up there. Woo. You're going on a date, and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna wine and dine you tonight, dear.
Yeah.
What are you cooking?
I think I'm going to Trader Joe's, and I'm picking up some lavash bread type.
Yeah, I like that.
Flatbreads.
Yeah.
And then maybe like a barbecue.
They have good meats at Trader
Yeah,
Joe's.
they do have good meats, but like a barbecue, like chicken pizza, or like a pesto shrimp I would make. Two different ones to, give some variety for the woman.
Can I just tell you, I set you up perfectly. That is a great pitch to any women out there wanting to date Tate Schmidt.
There it is.
All right, close but no cigar from Mr. Schmidt, but we appreciate it, or at least I appreciate you coming out, my friend. Thanks for
Appreciate you having us.
I felt in trouble for a second there. $100 gift card to you into golf. Spend it wisely.
Will do.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
See you guys.
Hi, Karl Serres here, head professional at Willow Creek Country Club here in Sandy, Utah. Going to walk you through how I hit an 8-iron. When I'm approaching a green, 150 to 170 out, I want to be able to stop that ball within a certain quadrant of the green. So what I'm going to do with my 8-iron, I'm going to really feel the swing in the club, so control my distance. Control your angle of attack. Control the length of your swing. And now I'll get you to dial in that distance so you can hit the green and then hopefully make that putt.
Charlie Carlson, the Bushnell rep in the Rocky Mountain States.
Bushnell has been a leader in the golf ranging, measuring devices for 20 years. 97% of tour golf professionals trust the yardage from Bushnell and use their products. So the one thing that I think the average golfer sometimes underestimates the importance of true yardage. Sure. And the unit we're giving away for this program is the Bushnell Hybrid, which is a neat unit. It's the first one to integrate GPS and laser. Tour professionals use a pin sheet on every hole. Well, that tells you where the pin is, but in this viewfinder, you can also see where the pin is, but the GPS portion will tell you how much room you have from the front of the green to the pin and from the pin to the back of the green, giving you a better idea of what kind of shot you'd like to play into that hole.
For the second week in a row, 16-year-old Preston Summerhays is the player of the week. After winning his second consecutive Utah State Amateur Championship, Summerhays traveled to Toledo, Ohio, and won the U.S. Junior Amateur Championship at Inverness Golf Club. He went undefeated in match play, winning 12 consecutive times between the two tournaments. A look ahead to some action now going on around the state of Utah this upcoming week. We'll start with the men's Mount Ogden two-man scramble at Mount Ogden Golf Course on August 2nd. The men's Reams Hobble Creek four-ball invitational on August 3rd at Hobble Creek Golf Course. Siegfried and Jensen Utah Women's Open will be held at Thanksgiving Point on August 5th and 6th. And finally, the women's Tram Electric Best Ball at Carbon Country Club on August 7th.
Up next, some incredible baseball plays, and what is Steve Ballmer putting in his coffee? Easy there, Tiger.
Great clips of the week.
Real Salt Lake's best defender on Wednesday was this football and feline. It prevented Tigres from scoring a goal. Royal Star and World Cup winner Becky Sauerbrunn claimed on Twitter that it was her cat, but we haven't confirmed that.
So many great clips to choose from in the Major League Baseballs this week. We decided this play by J.P. Crawford of Seattle. Are you kidding me? If a ninja played shortstop, it would look like that.
This is incredible. All right, there were some great catches. This from a minor leaguer, Stone Garrett of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, a Miami Marlins affiliate in the Double-A Southern League. Hopefully he's okay.
I have these notes, but I gotta say I'm just fired up to be here today. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Woo! Someone spiked Steve Ballmer's coffee. Yeah, actually, that's how he is all the time, really, right? The Clippers owner can't contain his excitement about landing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George.
I can't blame him. Former BYU cornerback Robertson Daniel is now in the CFL with the Cagliari Stampede. He's painted his face like the Joker. Not sure if it made him a better player, but if he keeps making plays like this, paint away.
Hey, that's the best shot of the week. Pac-12 Media Day. Washington State offensive lineman Liam Ryan